All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Lakers Talk Daily. We're about to wrap up week number 1 of Lakers Talk Daily. If you don't know what we're doing, ESPN LA, YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Monday through Friday, we'll put out some type of topic around the Lakers that's most relevant, makes most sense, we think you guys will be most interested in. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. In today's Friday edition of Lakers Talk Daily, Anthony Davis ready to be the #1 option for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to go a little bit in the past to kind of set up how I feel about today with Anthony Davis. And certainly we encourage you guys to give any comments that you have. Anthony Davis, I'm so excited that I've got goosebumps just thinking about next year. Okay, well, AD, you're not the only one. There's a lot of Laker fans that feel that way. There's a lot of Laker fans that want to feel a certain way about Anthony Davis. There's a lot of Laker fans that know that a 29-year-old that is in the prime of his career, that is so important to the franchise present and the franchise's future, we all want to feel a certain way about Anthony Davis's upcoming season. However, I'm a little more hesitant. We got a chance to talk with Darvin Ham at the Lakers Media Day. So that was this past Monday. And I asked Darvin Ham his expectations. What does he think of Anthony Davis? Can he get back to the form from 2 years ago? And, you know, he talked about absolutely he can and how he should be in the MVP conversation and everything else. I kind of pumped the brakes on all this. I'm a big fan of Anthony Davis. I'm a big fan of what Anthony Davis brings to the table. Laker fans, we saw it just a couple years ago. Anthony Davis was a huge piece to winning championship number 17 and tying the Boston Celtics. That was 2 years ago. And over the course of the last 2 years, all you can really base any of these conversations on or our conversation about Anthony Davis is how things have progressed year by year. And I do know what AD brought to the table a couple years ago when the Lakers won that NBA championship. However, I'm also going off of him playing half the season 2 years ago, half the season this past year, and Anthony Davis has played less than half of the games over the last 2 years, and we all know what the result of that has been. So I'm excited about Anthony Davis, but I'm also not prepared to have Anthony Davis in any MVP conversation. I'm not prepared to have Anthony Davis in any conversation with the other elite big men in the NBA, as if Giannis and Joel Embiid and Jokic, I'm not prepared to put him in that conversation. Why would I be? It doesn't mean that you can't have hope that Anthony Davis can turn his career back around, be on the floor for, 70 games, but you also got to look at how the last couple years have gone. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. Faith is a perfect word. Faith is, you don't have to see it to believe it. With Anthony Davis, I got to see it to believe it. That's where I am with Anthony Davis, currently today. And listen, you could tell the franchise is obviously, he says, I've got goosebumps about this upcoming year. You got Darvin Ham, you got LeBron James, pretty much like, hey, you got to start taking over this franchise. But that's no different than the conversation we were having 2 years ago. LeBron James averaged 30 points a game this past season. I think all Laker fans understand this. If LeBron is averaging close to 30 a game, you probably had a bad year. Something probably happened to Anthony Davis if that was the case. Because the reality is, since AD came to the Lakers, especially after that championship year, do you guys remember this? ESPN did their rankings 2 years ago. They ranked every player in the NBA. Bron was #1. This is after the Lakers won the championship. Bron #1, AD #2. Today, Anthony Davis is sitting at number 20, and I don't blame the NBA or ESPN for putting him there. That's probably where he should be, because at the end of the day, if you're not available, then there really isn't much of a conversation. So I believe in the potential that Anthony Davis has, but I'm also not going to jump to conclusions when it comes to predicting, hey, watch out for AD this year. He's going to be an MVP. Hey, watch out for AD this year. He's feeling great. He's feeling healthy. Let the season start. Let's see what he looks like, and we could take it from there. One thing I do want to kind of point out, too, there was a story that had come out, and this was Anthony Davis talking about, hey, what people don't know. He was asked about his three-point percentage, really just his percentage in general, but specifically from the outside last year, why he struggled, because he did struggle. His percentage wasn't all that good when he did play. And he said something that he hadn't told anybody. He had a wrist issue. His wrist was bothering him. And on his follow-through, you know, he wasn't able for all those, and I'm sure everybody that watches this channel and watches Lakers basketball have played basketball in their life. You're probably not going to hit many jumpers if you can't follow through and your wrist is bothering you. That kind of gives me a little bit of hope that AD, it wasn't just his knee or his ankle, but it was also his wrist. So no excuses coming into this year. The last game that the Lakers played was April 10th. And AD, by the way, didn't play in those last few games, and he only played half the season to begin with. The first game that they're going to play is October 3rd. That's 5 months and 3 weeks for AD to get right and get healthy. Hopefully, Laker fans, he's healthy this season. But I'm going to reserve myself a little bit, and I'm excited to see AD back, and I'm excited to see him healthy. But I'm not trying to have any MVP conversation. I'm not trying to have any conversation of AD being handed the baton and all of a sudden he's going to go take over the Lakers franchise. I got to see it to believe it. All right, your thoughts here. What do you think of some of Anthony Davis's comments? How do you feel about Anthony Davis coming into the season? How much confidence do you have in AD of returning back to form? We appreciate your comments. And once again, subscribe to the channel here. ESPN LA is really, really pushing very hard on trying to put a lot more content on YouTube. And trust me, if you're a fan of this radio station, we're going to stream a lot of our shows live a few days a week. We're going to put up a lot more content on here. And then, of course, I'm going to do what I do, Lakers Talk Daily. Every single day, Monday through Friday, we'll have some piece of information here. So subscribe here. Also, Lakers Talk with Alan Sliwa if you want to subscribe to my channel as well on YouTube. Thank you, Lake fans. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday.